Mhm.
All right. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are logging in from around the world. My name is Jessica Corvo, and it brings me, oh my goodness, such a great pleasure to again be able to share some space with one of my favorite souls in the entire world, Mr. Sandy. And okay, we met a couple of years ago with group fitness.
Oh,
So
it's
he was
been that long?
one of the
Couple of
top
years?
group fitness. I mean, time flies, right?
Oh, it
You were like
does.
one of the top fitness instructors with the corporate company that we were with, and you were making a shift from the city into the suburbs. And I was just so blessed to be able to inherit some of your classes. And then we became kindred souls after that. And I've just been such a fan and such an admiration and awe of all the different things that you do and just on how you're able to kind of like move through life with absolute grace. So a little bit, and ironically, that's your wife's name too. So you're just surrounded by it. And ironically enough, I think in context, putting everything in context, you're a celebrity personal trainer. You are a fitness professional at a very, very high level because you do physique competitions. And then you also currently focus on helping men over the age of 50 kind of get their health back, because as the body ages, a lot of things are kind of like moving. So you are a super achiever on every single level. And I just want to kind of put that in context and honor that strong mind and that big heart that you have. And that's probably why your body is so big, because it's got to house that heart. So Sandy, thank you so much for being with us today. How are you?
Thank you for having me, Jessica. This is I'm fine. I'm blessed. I'm better than I was yesterday, and I'm better than I was last month, and I'm better than I was last year.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So we're celebrating mental health awareness, and you were an absolute no-brainer. I really wanted you to be able to share some of your story, because what a lot of people might not know is that you were diagnosed with cancer early on during pandemic, and being able to kind of not just overcome it, but crush it and come out on the other side is something that I think a lot of people should know about and kind of be inspired about. So in terms of all of that, what do you think was the number one thing that kind of helped you move through the entire diagnosis and recovery journey?
Well, hey, yes, I was diagnosed with prostate cancer. Shocker. I mean, here I am, super fit, teaching all these boot camp spin boxing classes and eating right, exercising regularly. I think I was at the pinnacle of this fitness thing by all the bodybuilding competitions, doing quite well, winning first place in over 50, taking third in, which is nothing to sneeze at, taking third in the Open, which I'm going against guys who are 20 years younger than me, 25 years younger than me, and killing it. And then all of a sudden, this thing comes about where they're telling me I've got this dreaded C word, I call it, and I'd go in, undergo the surgery, and left me kind of debilitated in a lot of areas where I'm not used to. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what's going on? This is not my world. I'm not used to this. But little did I know, God is saying, you've achieved so much. Now here's the next thing to achieve in life.
Mhm.
I want you to achieve overcoming the greatest thing. You've never beaten anything like this. So on the other side of it, I'm cancer free. I've done it with the help of God. Number one, I want to make that very, very clear. And then there is no number two or number three. Just God, with God's help, I have achieved complete 100%. I'm cancer free, and I just love saying it. I just wanted to say it again. And what went into that was um, me understanding that I have more to do.
Mhm.
God was telling me in this world. And so it's not over. Of course, when you're diagnosed with something like that, all these things come into your mind. Oh my gosh, am I going to die? I'm not done. Am I done yet? Is there anything more? And what God is saying is, hey, you've got more to do. This is just going to make you, and I want you guys to hear what I'm saying here. This is going to make you stronger than you were before.
Mhm.
Yes, you knew strength. You knew physical strength. You knew the strength of eating the kind of thing a lot of people don't like to eat, rabbit food. You knew the strength of, okay, you're going to eat this food with no flavor. You're going to eat like this, you're going to regiment this and that to look a certain way. Everyone, if anyone ever tried to die, never died before, the first 3 words are die. You feel like you're going to, but afterwards, what you end up dying to is self.
Mm-hmm.
You die to the part of you who says, I can eat that. You die to the part that's not disciplined. So anyway,
yeah,
I ended up, yes, that's what you really die to. People think your body's dying.
Yeah.
No, it's the undisciplined you that's dying.
Absolutely.
And being the month, Jessica, in mental health, when I thought when I had this disease, I thought, oh my gosh, I'm in it by myself. No, I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
Because I come from a life of everything I have came from being in. Let's go back even further before the fitness. I was a person who was somewhat. I had to struggle for everything I wanted to get. I was very. Um, I was a little bit kind of depressed a lot when I was a teenager in college. It was a struggle, and I started opening up this thing called the Bible and reading it more and getting to know that I'm not alone. I have a person who created me who's saying, hey, you're thinking you're by yourself, but I'm allowing these things to show you that you're not by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, come on, we are going to do this together.
Yeah.
And that's and fast forwarding to where I'm at now, and that's where I find my strength. And I've overcome
Mm-hmm.
what I've overcome, which I prayed nothing like this will ever come on any of you guys.
Mm-hmm.
But you do understand that God is there for not just me, not just my personal savior, but for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys, with what you're going through now, you are not by yourselves. You are not alone.
Absolutely. I think like to kind of like pull it back in a little bit, I think the important thing is, whether it's like mental illness or whether it's the C word or whether it's, violence, there's all these different things that can affect us and kind of push us off our center. And it can challenge us on every single level, the physical level, the emotional level, the mental level, like everything can just go lopsided. And that's okay, as long as we have some kind of anchor or some kind of strength within. And Sandy, again, I have tremendous admiration and tremendous love for you and just on how you go through life. I mean, you're a high achiever on every single level, and things could test your faith. Things could test your physical capabilities. Things could test like your emotional strength or even like the mental tenacity. But I can't express enough on how important it is to keep that mind as clean as possible. And I think, in my opinion, being an outsider, that is probably one of the strongest things about you. I mean, yes, with your connection with faith, but I think it's also your ability to understand, recognize, and then move through. Okay, I'm not in my world. What do I need to do in order to get back into my world? Okay, this is not for me. I'm not staying here. How do I get out of it? This is what I need to do. And that kind of mental tenacity, that's like the top 1%, if not the top 0.5% in the world. So Sandy, I just want to give you a big compliment for that, because as many people that struggle or get diagnosed with the big C, it's years before they're able to beat it. And you were able to do it within a pandemic, which is already pretty stressful. So congratulations.
Yes. Thank you, Jessica. Yeah, you're dealing with all these other outside entities. Oh, the clients have gone, and oh my gosh, what are we gonna do? But the most when you put things into perspective. Are you gonna be alive? When you think about it that way, it kind of, well, the rest of these things aren't that important. I know I'm gonna be fine. And the Bible says, I will keep them in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on me. And and with that, I was able to take the fitness and say, okay, fitness, we're going to pick you back up again. I'm going to pick up where I left off. And are these the things that come after the cancer, beating the heck out of the cancer? What comes next is I'm going to get my body back, because you lose so much. You lose your abdominal they cut into the abdominal, so any part of the surgery. Anyway, not gonna really get into that, but the physical fitness part, you kind of lay aside. When you pick it back up, you realize, hey, I now have respect for people who
Yeah.
are just getting started, because I have to start all over. And it's humbling because you were right over here when people would look at you in the gym and say, hey man, how can I do that? And now you're back at the place where you're looking like, oh wow, now I know what it's like years ago, 20 years ago when I first started. And mentally, it's another check in the box like, yes, I'm back.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% where I used to be, but I'm 90%.
Yeah, absolutely.
And,
Well,
and
I think it's also, Sandy, your baseline and your foundation is so much stronger than the average person. And I mean that in every single capacity, because the body does whatever the mind tells it to, right? So the mind is like the strongest, everything's connected. When we want to show our mental stability or mental strength, a lot of times the manifestation is the discipline that we have going to the gym, right? Or going and working out. So when we can take care of ourselves, you can't skip days and look the way that you look. You can't do it. You have to be solid, and you have to be loyal to yourself and your goals and your health. And so you can't just do 2 days a week and reach the levels that you have reached as a professional. Like, you just can't. And so I think that's like another thing. When we were talking previously, it was, what do we call this session? Gym is my therapy. I think that's incredible, because just as you say right now, okay, this is the card that you got dealt. All right, things kind of fell where they needed to be at that moment. Time to, for girls, we tighten the ponytail. For you, is put on the bandana. And let's get back to it. Let's grind it out. And there's so many people that, people make fun of people at the gym saying, what are they working through or anything like that. And it's a healthy way of processing. It's a healthy way of reminding yourself on what you're made of. It's a healthy way to demonstrate and visually see the strength that you might not always feel here, but you can always see it here. So Sandy, another compliment to you. I think you're an incredible spirit. And I think that a lot of people can benefit from understanding kind of like your journey. So I appreciate just big gratitude to you.
no, thank you, Jessica, for doing this for people. A lot of people need this. A lot of people need to know that things are achievable. That if a person could, as I mentioned in the scripture before, you mentioned your mind and your body connection, and it's this book called Battlefields of the Mind, fantastic book by Joyce Meyer. It's where the mind goes, the man follows, and that's so true. And the journey is either, the battle is fought up here. It's going to either be won or be lost up here.
Mm-hmm.
And when you understand, once again, I mentioned that you're not alone, that God is there to help you along your journey, as long, and He'll give you the strength to come forward.
Yeah.
And when all else was gone, even my wife Grace, she was always, of course, she was there for me. But man, when you're laying in that bed alone and the lights are turned off, and they're like sitting there like, okay, what's going to? I just had surgery. Oh my gosh, what's going to happen now? And God, you start to pray, and God's telling you, hey, this is another level. Just like the fitness was another level. And now you're working with fitness with all these celebrities. Okay, now you're at the level where you're going to do a competition. You're backstage pumping up. When you go on stage, are you going to be able to, what are you going to do? Because you're thinking, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I'm going to be backstage. I'm going to be on stage. All these guys who are just like me.
Yeah.
Am I going to look better? Did I prepare as well? Did I prepare better? Then you get on stage, you're like, oh, wow, okay.
Yeah.
You look into your right, look into your left. I'm here, I'm ready. And end result, you got your trophy. I achieved it. You want to go in and do it again. You want to tweak a few things, get on stage, do it again, win again. And that's just, it's win again.
Yeah.
Win again, and continue to win to the point where you are now teaching others how to win.
I love that. I love that. And to kind of put it into context for that mindset and for that kind of approach in life, to give a little bit of background to the benefit of all the listeners. When we first met, I joined one of your classes and we were downtown and you had 5 minutes of jump roping. And I was thinking, oh my goodness, this is like a workout. I'm an Ironman athlete. I'm a 12-hour Ironman. So I'm okay. I'm respectable in terms of athletic fitness. And 3 minutes in, I was like, I don't know if I can do this. Can I take over this class? Because it's just that, in that mind, and you're just like, I got this, I got this, I got this, I got this. I'm going to win. I'm going to win. I'm going to win. And it's humbling. It's humbling. So, as like an outsider, again, just kind of putting that in context for everyone else, that you are a person and a spirit that is just reached a different level for a lot of, in comparison to other people, because you understand the importance of protecting this and protecting this, and just it's not just the food that we eat, or the times that we go to the gym, but it's also our surroundings. It's making sure that we're surrounded by the right people. It's making sure that we're making sure we're not reading things that are going to be hurting us, but we're reading things that are going to help us. So with the battle book that you were talking about, fantastic book, by the way. Yes.
Battlefield of the Mind by Joyce Meyer. Yes.
Yeah. And I think it's very important, to kind of illustrate that health is not just going to the gym. It's all aspects of it. So I'm so glad that you've touched on, being able to what you read. You've touched on having faith or like a higher power. Some people are religious, some people aren't. I believe in angels, kind of the same.
Hey, God created the angels as he created the moon, the sun, the oceans, and told the oceans, don't go past this point. Yeah. If he told the oceans, do what you want, there'd be floods, there'd be tidal waves, there'd be all kind of nonsense. God is very real.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think, it's important to kind of, be able to understand that even if you're doing everything that you define as perfect, or that society defines as perfect, you can always have a curveball thrown at you. And then the ability to yell plot twist, and the ability to be able to roll with it and just have resilience and have that strength of self, that no matter what is thrown at you, that you're going to be able to move through it, I just think is incredible. And Sandy, it's fantastic, because I think even when you acknowledge, kind of like some of the dark moments, yes, you have grace, you have the community, you have, faith, you have all the different things that are helping you. It still doesn't diminish the fact that you still got those dark moments. And in those dark moments, that's when you have to really kind of buckle down, and you're like, all right, this is going to pass. This too shall pass. I believe that's a biblical term as well. And then when you get through it, then it's just, okay, put on that bandana and then get on with it, to take one step at a time to get through that recovery.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes.
And so I think it's just, it's incredible, Sandy. I think that it's absolutely incredible. And I think, for some of the men, prostate cancer is something that people don't always stay on top of for getting checked out. So I'm not 100% sure if that's like one of the more aggressive ones, but I do know that the healing rate is very small. So that's to even put it into more perspective, that the fact that you overcame it is even more phenomenal.
It's something that us guys, hey, we don't want to, we don't have time for this one, especially when we get to, it's almost like a little slight bit of arrogance. Like, I'm on the top of my physical game. I don't have time for this.
Yeah.
I'm not going to stay on top. I don't have time. I was told a year ago or a year before this that, hey, you have something going on. Your PSAs are high. You should get checked out. Oh, okay, I don't have time. It's exactly what I was telling myself. All right, I'm sure it's just being on top of it, being on spend bike. No big deal. I don't have time for this. And then another couple of months went by, same thing. And then another doc visit. My annual, I'm really into making sure everything's operating well. So I got my blood work done a lot. And then here we are again. Oh, Sandy, this is, you need to get this looked at. And a year later, maybe a little over a year later, I'm looking, I got finally, okay, well, let's see if there's anything to it. then along came the diagnosis.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, oh, wow. And the doc even said, hey, you probably had this at least a couple of years earlier.
Yeah.
So here's the say what to absolutely agree with what you were saying a moment ago, Jessica.
Mm-hmm.
Well, us guys don't stay on top of this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Same with the colon.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, colon cancer is here. But now, once the person, God forbid, you are diagnosed with this, and if a person is, then and it has your attention. And if you don't stay on top of it at that point, meaning taking whatever steps you need to take to get it handled, God forbid it's surgery. And if it is, you need to go through the recovery part of it. And it's wow.
Yeah.
It's
I
mental.
think a lot of it is on how you frame it and how you allow it into your space. Because talking about colon cancer, my grandfather, one of my guardian angels, he had colon cancer, and he was in his 80s, and he didn't want to have surgery. He was like, I'm too old. I'm fine. It's fine. And he chose to do quality of life. So for him, this is his way of dying gracefully, and that was his exit. And he was okay with it, and it was fine for everyone else, because I think, it's whatever that wake up is. You can get this diagnosis, or you can get this news, and you're like, nah, I'm not done yet. I still got some stuff to do. And then you fight it, and then you get through. And then sometimes you're just like, well, it is what it is. It's not saying that one is right and what is wrong. It's just giving a path to, if this is what you want, this is what it takes to get through it. And I think that is something that is a message worth sharing on so many different levels, because again, for the context of everyone else, Sandy, you're not just a normal human being. You're, in my opinion, you're next level. So you don't just compete, but you compete to win. Why would you compete unless you're going to win, right?
Oh, come on, Jessica, you're an Iron Man woman.
I know.
You do it to win. You're not new to this. You're true.
Oh, 100%, 100%. If winning wasn't important, why do we keep score? Like, speak to my heart.
I mean, I see guys in the gym, and you do too.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, this is no knock against people in the gym who want to just stay fit.
You take pride in it.
Our brain, take pride in it. Our brains are wired.
Yeah.
To when we see people in the gym, and they're kind of like,
yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't. It's like when you sing and you hear someone singing off key, you're like, you don't want to. And you watch years ago when I used to go to the clubs years ago. Yeah. When you see someone dancing and you're dancing too, and they're kind of dancing off beat, you're kind of like trying not to look at them so you won't dance off beat.
Yeah,
it's the same as someone
stay in your lane. Stay in your lane.
Yeah, don't look. Otherwise,
got those blinders on. I got stuff to do.
You're watching them, and all of a sudden you're off beat. So when I see other guys in the gym, and their intensity level is not what I'm used to. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah. Everyone's at a different place.
Absolutely.
It's like almost, and then here comes the fitness training part of me who wants to help. The help part wants to help and say, hey, I've done it. You can do it too. Here's what it takes. I've been where you are right now. I've been to that guy who was kind of like, well, actually, no, I wasn't. I was always driven to kill it in the gym. And you and I are both very, 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 let's push our bodies as hard as you can push it.
Absolutely.
Obviously in the parameters of health, of stretching.
We want to see what we're made of. You want to see what you're made of. I mean, it's all within safety, limitations. I average 3 to 4 hours of cardio on a daily basis. I'm not a normal human being.
And this is what makes us and everyone, I'm not saying, again, I have to keep saying, disclaimer, this is not for everyone. Everyone's at a certain level. Maybe you're that guy who wants to just walk for 30 minutes. That lady wants to walk for 30 minutes. And that's all good, as long as you move.
Yeah.
And you move, you have to. And I've learned this also as you get older and you have a setback. I learned it. I had to relearn, not completely relearn, but my muscles were saying, oh, hey, where have you been?
Yeah.
You have to use it or you will lose it.
Absolutely.
And I was telling my wife, I was saying, honey, wow, I noticed that I started hurting,
Mhm.
aching in
Mhm.
my body in certain areas. But when I started getting back up again,
Mhm.
the aches and pains went away. And if you don't, again, just to reiterate, if you don't use it, man,
Yeah.
you will, it will diminish on you. And you saw that picture of my Instagram, guys, my Instagram page, Sandy Cochran.
Mhm.
Just find me on IG. There's a lady who is 80 now. She's probably almost 90, and
Mhm.
she is still killing it in the gym.
Yeah.
There's another older lady in her 70s. You can't miss it. The lady with the white hair doing
Mhm.
the deadlifts,
Mhm.
225 pounds with a weight belt, all the safety
That's
precautions.
two of me. That's two of me. She could deadlift me twice.
Because she's doing what I do in my second sets, man. And I saw this and I was like, oh my gosh. So I'm saying that to say this. Hear me, world, people, fitness people, people who are not even, or just all your thousands of fans, Jessica, it's going to be millions. You, come on, man. No excuse.
Absolutely.
No excuse. Oh my gosh. And when you achieve it, you'll feel like there's nothing you can't do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That self-mastery, that knowledge of being able to embrace a challenge and then just figure it out. And I joke with a lot of my classes, it's like the body has 600 muscles. So if we can identify 3 of them today, we're doing pretty good. And we'll just pick like different muscles throughout, different parts like the workout and stuff, and just fixate on that. And then now, months later, my class, they're like warriors and they're just like, oh, now let's have some fun. You're next level because the baseline for a lot of people that you work with, I mean, yes, you take them through that journey from simple into advanced. You also work with a lot of advanced people because you're just that good. I mean, you're incredible. You're my number one recommendation for everybody, by the way. But the point is that you can only teach that once you know it. And because you have such great command through all of the years of all of your education, all of your experience, all of the shows, all of the winning for the fitness programs and everything, you've just taken it up to that next level. And the physical winning or like the awards and stuff like that is the same thing as like my finish lines. I cross the finish line with Ironman, you get the trophies. And all of that is because of self-mastery. All of that is because we know how to clean this and then we manifest it through here. And it's another, big compliment to you, Sandy, because I think a lot of people that might be struggling with their mental health, whether it's depression, anxiety, it could be anything, even up to like bipolar, narcissism, any of these different things, right? It doesn't matter what it is, as long as you focus on what's going to help you. And what can help is going to the gym. What can help is having that creative outlet. What can help is having that physical outlet to create those endorphins. Endorphins make you happy. Happy people get through things a little bit easier.
And and something that I'm getting involved in now is learning how to play an instrument, music. And even these people who I've liked on Instagram, they're taking a look at the fitness and saying, that's something that I've always wanted to do. I
Good.
want, I mean, although I have the utmost respect for people who've taken anything in life and mastered it to where you could be a teacher. Um, Now they want to take on something else.
Good.
That's the fitness, and I think that's so cool.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So I think there's just the sky is the limit, and even that it's limiting. So anything is possible. Literally anything is possible. And I think, the message, being shared for your entire warrior journey, because you are a warrior in so many respects, specifically being able to, number one, have that strong baseline and knowing yourself enough to know how to navigate different things, having a diagnosis, having a plot twist, and then being able to move through it, defaulting into what works for you and what is your comfort. Because as much as we try, when we're not feeling it, motivation, whatever, it falls back into our habits. And so it's so important to have that healthy lifestyle or that healthy outlet, whether it be music, whether it be the gym, whether it be sitting outside under a tree. It doesn't really matter as long as you have something that's healthy and constructive. That way we're no longer destructive to like our bodies and stuff like that. So I think, you know, Sandy, another big compliment to you on being able to kind of highlight that for all of our viewers, especially in context of mental health awareness. I love the fact that your default is to, yes, go to higher power, to fall into faith. Definite one of my favorite like people of faith. You make me want to reconsider my my beliefs and stuff like that, because you're just so pure of heart, and I mean that with the biggest respect. And you know, just being able to default into faith and then default into some of your healthy habits, and then really kind of like lean into the community, but more importantly, know yourself. And so I think, you know, Sandy, I appreciate you so much for being able to share your warrior journey. And, you know, you kind of alluded into a couple of the different things. I know that you're still teaching, you're still doing private lessons and stuff like that. Are you at a stage where you're also going to be teaching musical stuff? Like how can people get into your diary and spend money with you?
Oh, Jessica, I'm not, oh my gosh, I'm just getting started learning how to play the guitar. But I respect so much people who've been doing it for years. I
Yeah.
used to, we've all seen it on television or YouTube videos. And the people who move their fingers so quick on the fretboard. We used to think, how hard can it be? But when you start to learn,
It's next level.
respect to you
Yeah.
people who've taken, and that's, oh my gosh. I have so many great things to say about that, but I'll just keep it super brief. It requires dedication, like what we did, Jessica. It requires years. I'm just getting started. My journey is just beginning, but I'm at the stage where we all were at, Jessica.
Yeah.
Are you going to continue, or is it too hard where you're
Yeah.
going to stop, like most people
Yeah.
who stopped when things were too hard? Well, guess what, everybody? Life can be too hard. So you're
Yeah.
gonna stop.
If you enjoy it, it's passion. If you don't enjoy it, it's stress. And so as long as you enjoy it, you're just like, maybe I just need to play different types of
Yeah,
songs. We're good.
I accept the challenge. We've gotten to this place with our physical fitness, and it didn't, in a year, we didn't give up.
No.
So I accept the challenge, and I see myself, you gotta see yourself
Yeah.
years from now, not being able to, I mean, I don't know if you can move your fingers that quick, but better than you were when you started, man.
Oh, absolutely.
Um,
One day at a time for everything. You just try to be a little bit better than you were the day before. And I love the fact that you're saying like challenge accepted, because in context of mental health awareness, I changed a whole bunch of my branding and a whole bunch of my hashtags to challenge accepted.
that's right.
Usually it's stronger together. And I mean, I'm still using stronger together because I think that community is such an important component for health and wellness. But I've also been putting challenge accepted. So everything has just been like, all right, I'm not feeling as well. Challenge accepted. I'm gonna get through this.
Good, Jessica, that's good. That's very, very good, man. Challenge accepted. And if you don't, challenge will inevitably be accepted. Think about it. It's either it is or it isn't. If the challenge isn't going to be accepted, it's going to have to be accepted inevitably to enjoy your quality. I'm going to. That's right.
It helps you take the power back, because if you don't say challenge accepted, you can easily be considered, or you consider yourself a victim of circumstance. But when you make that declaration, challenge accepted, you take that power back and you're just like, all right, let's rock and roll. Let's do this. So you get back in your lane and you're like, all right, we can do this. And so I think of it more as a personal declaration to just like take your power back and be like, all right.
That's right, man. It's like, no. And again, that's we could be talking about this for a while, but that's for another time. That's another conversation.
Absolutely. So I'm going to make sure that you have all of the links and stuff like that. I think Instagram is still one of your main playgrounds. So I know that you have your own website. You have LinkedIn. I'm sorry. Yeah, LinkedIn is my favorite. So definitely put like all your LinkedIn stuff in there, your Instagram stuff in there, your Facebook stuff in there, and people can definitely reach out to you if they're looking to level up their health, because you're still doing personal training sessions. And for the summer, do you have some big plans for the summer?
I was actually thinking, Jessica, looking at all these restrictions still. I was playing with the idea. Of course, when all this stuff happens, you think, I'm not going to compete again. And then you think to yourself, maybe I will. So for those of you guys who are out there who've thought about, would it be possible to get ready for a bodybuilding competition? You have to start somewhere. It's very possible. And you'd be surprised at how well you would do on your first show. A lot of people in their first shows, even the top 5, which you guys would be surprised what you can do if you put your mind to it. The top 5 is still fantastic. The top 8 is great because 8 is great because you showed up. The top 5 is very very doable. Even the top 3 to the top number 1. So you guys, if you want to push, set a goal. I always tell my clients who've been in the gym, set a small goal. And the guys are like, man, I want to be in bodybuilding. Well, set a small goal. You'll look up a show here in the Chicagoland area that you like to do, and set a goal to kind of, well, first go to a show, then set your mind to saying, I want to try it, and then go through what it requires to get on stage, and then just keep going. And if you want to do something like that, it's super fun. It helps you to want to push yourself when you have a goal, when you have a finish line.
Absolutely.
When you just kind of nebulously go, which is not bad. But I find it, and I'm sure you also, Jessica, since you've achieved all the really cool things that you've achieved, the mastery that you have, it helps to have a finish line in mind. And I'm all over the place here. Let me circle back to what you mentioned. Musically, no, I'm still learning guitar. Vocally, I am learning some more new songs in Espanol.
Nice. Oh, and for everyone listening, Sandy is a very talented vocalist and singer. And when we did our 21-day lifestyle reboot challenge, he delighted us with some of his singing in a couple of the videos. So if you want to know, we should talk offline and we can get you all those 21 videos, because Sandy is delighting us in so many different levels.
Oh, yes, you guys. One of my favorite songs, fast songs. I love Andre Bocelli. Slow songs. I'm learning a little bit more of his things, Italian and Spanish. Shakira, man, she got this one song that I'm learning. I know it's like, who the heck is Shakira? She's been out there for a while, but she's one of my favorite.
She does. We have a couple of her songs in Zumba.
Oh, really? Which one?
Waka Waka is one of them.
Waka Waka, yes.
Yeah, so that's like a really popular one for a lot of like some of the Zumba instructors and stuff like that.
That's a good one.
It's high energy. It's high energy because everything is about like a party and everything is about bringing people together. And so it's yeah. So you have good taste on so many levels, Sandy.
Hey man, I think I'm gonna start, it's not fitness related, but it's happiness related.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna throw some ballads, some stuff out there on my social media page.
Good. I'm so proud of you, Sandy. You just every time that we connect, there's something else that you're getting involved with, and I just think that it is just so incredible. And whether it's like your second chance or just part of like your regular with, grind and expand and grind and expand and grind and expand, anyone who decides to work with you is extremely lucky. And so I hope that anybody who is looking for a personal trainer or a coach that not only can take them to the next level, but can give them a path because they've done it so many times. And you keep it gentle, but you also don't take excuses, which is the key factor for being able to accomplish. And so if anybody out there is looking for, somebody to help hold them accountable and then help, take that goal just a little bit further and make it a little bit bigger, I think that's something that you're very strong with. And so I think a lot of people can benefit from being able to work with you one-on-one.
Thanks, Jessica. Thank you. Thank you for being inspirational. Thank you for putting together so many wonderful things that helps people in so many aspects of their lives. And the mental health, it starts up here before it could go down here.
Absolutely. And who knows, maybe at the end of it, you'll get a whole group of people that want to compete together.
And okay, community is really important with this. I have two clients. I think there are times where almost an hour before one person before the other. A guy and a woman, they wanted to compete in the same show, and it's fun. The conversations you have backstage, the preparations you have the day before. Butterflies, of course.
You just got to get those butterflies flying together. That's all it is that excitement. You got to get those butterflies all together. They get you all the way to that finish line, or they dazzle all of the judges. You're good.
They dazzle the judges. Remember what a butterfly was before he was a butterfly, man.
Caterpillar.
And crawling on your belly is what it feels like when you're in the journey. But when you come out and you're like this, and the judges are like, whoa.
Absolutely. And it's a beautiful analogy too, because you're 100% right. The caterpillar has to go within before it can bloom and blossom. So Sandy,
it's that battle the caterpillar is doing while they are preparing, when no one can see the battle. You're in the dark. You're in the dark. You're fighting in the dark. No one can see your struggle. But when you come forth, everyone can see.
This is truth. This is truth on so many different levels. Sandy, I appreciate you having so much time to be able to talk with us, and more importantly, inspire other people, because Mental Health Awareness Month is something that only lasts for a month, but mental health is something that's 365 days a year. And I think, being able to raise visibility and just share different warrior stories, and a lot of it is very powerful. So a lot of the times, as you had mentioned earlier, people feel alone. And when you share your journey, you give somebody else an opportunity to say, well, if they can do it, then I can too. So there's probably a lot of people who have dealt with, the big C, and they don't know how to overcome it. And so you've just given them, shed some light on a path that they can take in order to empower themselves. And for that, it's just phenomenal. So I'm proud of you. I'm grateful to you. And I'm just so tickled that I'm still part of your extended family.
Forever, Jessica.
And it's truly just a blessing every time we get to connect.
Hey, and my pleasure that you think of me to being a part of what you're doing.
Absolutely. That's like one of my alarms. I don't even know what I have alarms for anymore.
It's all good. It's all good, Jessica. You're a woman of many talents.
Well, I appreciate you, Sandy, very much. And for anyone that wants to get in touch with you for kind of building your machine and being able to work on self-mastery, they'll have all the different contact details. I'll put it in a banner at the bottom, and then also in the notes in the description. And then first and foremost, people can jam out with you. People can hire you for personal training. And my personal opinion, you're going to end up having a big following, and everyone's going to want to get into a physique competition. You guys are all going to train together. Hey, man, anything's possible. That's what I feel is going to happen.
Part of the JC family. I'm very blessed to be a part of the Jessica Corbel family, man.
Absolutely. Everything is stronger together. So
that's
Sandy,
right.
Thank you so much, Sandy.
Thank you for having me, Jessica.
Absolutely.